Guaranteed.
You guys be proud of me. I didn't write the intro.
Lift off. The clock is running.
The music's back, Tyler.
Yeah.
Sanitize my spit off this table. Daniel, go get the lube. Cody, you're watching. It's time for GCP's sexiest new show. Rank Me Off is where we pick a category. We bring back our top. I really should have wrote this down.
This is great.
I wanted to do it from the top of my head since you guys.
I love the hand motions.
Yeah.
You gotta get it finished for the music stops.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the hand motion.
Where we take a category. We all bring on our top 5 of that category. We talk about it. We discuss, and then we do a group rank off on that category. This week's episode 4.
3.
No,
3, I think.
No, 3 was weapons.
No, 2 was weapons.
Yeah, 3 was
1 was emotional moments.
Yeah.
2 was weapons. This is 3.
This is episode 3.
Maybe.
Oh, right.
No, this is episode 4.
What was episode 3?
Episode 1 was emotional moments. 2 was what the fuck moments.
Ah,
3 was weapons.
There we go.
In which I broke some of them. And
Yes.
4 was comic books.
Okay, so this episode, Daniel just told us, is
Yes.
comic books. Who wants to go first?
I always go first.
I want to fucking write it down next time. I didn't like.
Adam, you go first.
I didn't
Oh,
like
yeah,
free
we
balling.
actually-
Oh yeah, we need a
Somebody
pen and
writing.
paper. Yeah.
not Cody.
Am I going first?
Yes, Adam, go first.
Okay.
I always go first because I like this is my show.
You like to finish first?
I like to
Dad
finish first.
Dad texts me. He says he's all checked in and he's waiting to board Tyler.
Oh, okay.
All right. Top 5 comic books.
He's waiting to board Tyler. That's
Yeah. Okay. So number 5. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna make an incest joke. It's
Okay.
fine.
Okay. Good.
We make a lot of those.
incest in the Midwest.
Okay. Some of these aren't really like. So I didn't do Watchmen, which Tyler, get a load of this shit. I saw this motherfucker at Ollie.
Yeah.
And I said, hey,
Hey,
what's
is
up?
Is there an Ollie?
Yeah. And then he's like, he got the Rorschach book. I said, oh, Rorschach. He goes, yeah, it's from The Watchmen, Adam. I know what The Watchmen is, Daniel.
I'm the one who turned you on to Watchmen.
Did you get the neutrino wand?
Neutrino one.
Yeah, from Ghostbusters. They had them at Ollie for like $50.
Oh no, I didn't see that. Nope, I picked up the Rorschach comic book, which I didn't even know existed as
Which
a
is
DC
from the
Black
Watchmen.
label. Yeah, it's
It's
from
from
Watchmen.
Watchmen.
I did not get that one. I got a bunch of other stuff there, but I did
Yeah.
not get that one.
And then I got they had a 1986 movie Insecticon kickback, I think. And I picked that up for $10.
I
It's
saw
like
something
30.
at Hobby Lobby. I'm not certain if you'd like or not. It's a Gunpla Rodimus Prime.
Oh, I've been looking for that. That's a Hobby Lobby.
I think so. I think it's Rodimus Prime.
It's
I'm
a
not
what?
certain if it's Hot Rod.
It's a model kit, like the little
Oh.
robots I've got on my. Yeah, I've been looking for the Rodimus Prime. Oh.
Yeah, so they have it at Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, because I've got all the rest of them. Well, not all the rest of them. I have the first wave because they've made a trillion of them and they're like $400. But
What?
No, first wave.
yeah, I'll have to swing by Hobby Lobby.
Second wave. Okay.
I try to avoid that store normally.
I know.
Yeah, but if they have it in stock. You know.
Well, you can just check online. You might find it cheaper.
I don't know. Hobby Lobby, you got a pretty good deal on them model kits.
Yeah, but they don't like barcodes.
No, that's true.
Why?
It is a sign of the devil.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, that was
So do
our
you
Hobby
think
Lobby
they
episode.
have that sale? You remember when we picked up the other ones, and I'm like, I don't know which one to pick up, and I just bought all of them. And I'm like, don't judge me. Did you the model kits?
I went in there yesterday getting some knick-knack stuff, and I think they might have an overall sale going because I definitely paid less than what was on the sticker.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I don't know. Be worth a try. Let's all try and guess something on Adam's list real quick.
All right,
I'm
go
going to say
ahead.
Batman.
Oh, it's probably not the Watchmen because he doesn't know anything about the Watchmen.
Yeah.
Wait, you're going
know-
with Batman. What are you going with?
Preacher.
That's on your list.
Yeah.
Oh, the long Halloween will be on there.
Okay. So I didn't do the Watchmen or Dark Knight Returns, any of the obvious ones, okay? So number 5, this one isn't going to be universal, but it was the first comic book that I saw at this really rat in a hole place called Underdark. No, I used to when we did the podcast, I would look at it and then I eventually bought it. It reminds me
Well,
of
I
Underdark.
helped you with that store sometimes, so I feel personally attacked when people make comments about it.
I was joking. I like
Yeah.
Underdark.
Oh, that's true. You did help me with inventory a lot.
Yeah.
Like that was a New Year's Day tradition is you would help me with inventory and I'd take everyone out to dinner.
Anyway, Number 5 is one called The Creep.
Creep.
The
Yeah,
Creep.
it's a
Comic book about a guy named Adam.
no, it's a it's a one shot. It's about like a private detective, and he's got aglomaglia, that disease where like you keep your bones keep growing constantly, so your face gets elongated. Anyway,
Oh, like the Elephant Man?
No, that's elephantitis.
yeah, it's like tumors and stuff. Like I think John Cena's come out and said he's got slight aglomaglia.
Really?
He doesn't have extreme. Anyway, next one is Batman Black Mirror.
Oh, that one's good.
The one where Dick Grayson's Batman. And then there's a side story on the back about James Gordon's kid being a serial killer. It's a good one.
So what's the whole thing about the Creep?
He was just like this sexy guy back in before the disease gets worse as you get older, and he was in this relationship, and they were like the love of each other's lives, and it didn't work out, and he moved away, but then the lady son is convicted of murder, and she contacts him to solve the case. He's like, I know my son's innocent, and he's like, okay, and goes to meet anyway he solves a crime. The aglomaglia kind of like plays a part in it. Anyway,
So it's not a cape story. It's a detective story.
detective story. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Anyway, Batman Black Mirror, Dick Grayson's Batman. Where is I don't remember where Batman is at this time. Is it the one where he's traveling through time?
I think he's quote unquote dead at the moment.
Okay, yeah. And then my next one, this one I put on there because I saw it is before I knew who he was as a character or anything. I saw it at the college, the place on the college campus where they sell books, like
the bookstore.
Bookstore, but don't they have a name for it?
Yeah, the college bookstore.
There
The
you go.
campus bookstore.
The campus bookstore was the word I was looking for. Didn't know who he was. Now he's one of my favorite characters. Hellblazer, Good Intentions. It's where he's in America and he hitches a ride with these people, and he goes to this small town where they tie these women to this tree, and then they bang her. And then it turns out so he's like solves the case or whatever, but it turns out like the women are voluntarily tying themselves to this tree, and when they're getting banged, they're putting it up on like Pornhub, and that's the only way that the city can make money. Yeah, and it's kind of like good. It's a good one. It's not the best Hellblazer one, but it's my favorite because most of these are just on here because of my memory of not necessarily the best. So I don't think a lot of these are going to be.
These are ones when we said this topic, they bam in my head.
Yeah. Next one is Sin City. You guys can decide if I should do The Long Hard Goodbye or was it Dame to Kill For? I can't remember which storyline I like the most.
Oh,
or
boy,
or
both
The
of
Yellow
them are good.
Bastards even good too.
Yeah, they're all fantastic.
Should I just put Sin City in as all together?
No, someone else put Sin City.
No, I didn't.
Okay, all right.
I
Sin
think it's
City.
fine. Just Sin City.
I didn't do like individual comic book. I did like characters from series.
Okay, I did specific volumes of story arcs. So
Okay, I can get that a little bit with some of my picks.
no, just do your list. It's fine.
Anyway, Sin City, that was another college thing. Friend, all I read at the time was Batman stuff, and he was like, "Here, check this out," and he gave me the Sin City. He gave me the whole everything that was out at the time, and I read it and I liked it. And then my last one is that mine on 4. So
Yep.
let's see if my last one is another one from college. It's the same dude. He gave me Jinx and AKA Goldfish, which are like Brian Michael Bendis like crime stuff. So
Yeah.
You really like that noir detective sort of vibe.
yes, my favorite stuff. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you got 3 noir detective books on there, so yeah.
So sure. I know most of these aren't like anytime I go through my collection and I don't know what to read, I always read Jinx and AKA Goldfish.
Well, give me more information about them because like I don't know any idea what these are about. So give me what's the reason you enjoy these besides the overall they're just detectives?
They're just like Jinx and aka Goldfish is like really slick, like Ocean's 11, Snatch guy, like
So always one step ahead, always
like fast talking, like you the good guy's always one step behind, and then you find out like he was always ahead of the game the whole entire time.
Yeah, I only let you think you.
Yeah, it's kind of like, oh, that's me. I've been shot in the head and I'm bleeding out. How did we get here? And then they rewind it and they find out he wasn't actually shot in the head type stuff.
All right.
So
all right.
there's that. And Sin City's on there because I like the artwork. I mean, plus it's noir, but I like the artwork.
Do they say hand cannon in Sin City?
I believe so.
Well, I know they say it in the movie, and that's just like my favorite description of a gun.
Yeah, you
ever.
can't even lift that hand cannon.
Like, oh.
I like the term equalizer for gun. Like the idea that before the gun made all men equal.
Now I've got that
good.
in my head. Got a bum digger pushing it.
I haven't seen that movie in so
Got
long. I
a
need to
bum
watch it.
dicker.
That's what he
Yeah, bum
says.
ticker.
I
He's
think
talking
he's
about Bruce
dicker.
Willis's character.
I think he's a dicker.
No.
Who was the guy that was like the muscle bound and like that bone disease you're talking about? Muscle bound, not
Marv?
Big old
Marv.
titties.
Yeah.
Like I always liked his idea, like this. His story always appealed to me. That sort of like, yeah, I know I'm no good, but that girl didn't need to die because of me. And so, like, yeah, I'm gonna raise hell until I figure out what the fuck.
No, see, I like Clive Owens.
I like-
Mainly because he's wearing those red Converse.
I like when Marv's going through his leads. Like, I got my barbed wire, I got my gloves, and I got my mitts. And to his
Yeah,
hand.
Marv was my favorite in that movie. Like the it's not good not to take your medicine, and he takes like the whole fucking bottle. And
The scene where he's driving, he's got his head like in the
yes, I don't know about you, but I'm having a ball.
Yeah.
I like Clive Owens where he's like, he sees Marv and he's like, Marv should have been born 1,000 years ago as a gladiator, just slamming into some other guy's face.
Yeah.
And then was it Elijah Wood that played the fucking psychopath?
Kevin,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's your
Like,
killer.
just-
doesn't talk at all.
Yeah, doesn't. And then like the entire time he did nothing but smile or something like
Yeah.
that. Like, ugh.
Man, I want to watch that movie now.
Right? That movie's so good.
It
And
makes me
I need to
want
read
to
the
watch
books.
that movie and not want to watch. What's the other one that had like the same style?
The Spirit?
Yeah, The Spirit.
Hey,
Oh, The
leave
Spirit.
the Spirit
Like, The
alone.
I
Spirit
haven't
is-
seen The Spirit yet.
Spirit's rough.
The
Yeah.
Spirit's rough, but it's got such good scenes. Like, and then the friends we made along the way. Like, yeah, the boss that was easy to make.
Have you guys seen the sequel? Dame to Kill For?
No.
Yeah, with Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not as good as the first one, but still pretty solid.
Yeah.
Now I'm thinking of all the weird lines from The Spirit. I'm going to kill you all kinds of dead. But he says it with such conviction.
Yeah, it says like it says only sailors and cops can hear. You're like, well, I ain't no sailor.
Man, I need to see this movie. Like,
It
is rough, but it's got the same style, and it's got I can't pronounce it. Gabriel, the guy from Suits.
Frank Miller directed it.
Yeah, so it's got the greatest one-liners, but the entire thing is just terrible.
It's just
like,
very weird. Like they threw like everything in there, and it seemed, as much as I like Zack Snyder, it was like, hey, here's everything on The Spirit. Let's just throw it all in there, kind of like Zack Snyder in Batman v Superman.
That's why I always say, I don't know if I'm right or not, but Frank Miller is a huge fanboy of that character, and he wrote and directed it. You need someone who isn't necessarily like, if you're a fanboy of this thing and you want to do this movie, that's fine, but you need to hire someone to be your filter who isn't a fanboy but knows how to tell a story.
and somebody gives me a goddamn tie.
You should have a fanboy, but you should also have someone to tell them no.
Yeah, it's
like I think that was the problem with the Star Wars prequels is George Lucas didn't have anyone to tell him no. Is he was just like, this is what we're gonna do. Whereas in the other ones, they're like, let's not do this. Let's just kind of rein it in.
Like, and you can tell the access to more money is what hurt him.
Yeah.
Having all the money in the world for those movies, being able to do everything, having not the limitations of the original budget, where he had put the best stuff he thought in, having everything is
Plus,
What is it?
plus-
Necessity is the mother of.
let's not forget
invention.
Yeah.
how many of the original movies did he actually direct?
I don't think he directed any.
He only directed the first one, or episode 4. Sorry.
Now, I will say this about George Lucas, and this is a controversial opinion. He, I wish more directors would do some of the things that he does, because he had a vision for Star Wars. Someone told him no and filtered him, and he created Star Wars on whatever low-ass budget he had. And then when it was super successful, and he made a shit ton of money, he came back knowing that this would be a success, and then changed it to better fit what his original vision was. All of these things where he's like, we didn't have the technology to do it, we didn't have the money to do it, we couldn't figure out how to do it, and now we know how to do it. He was like the first guy to like remake his first movie. And I love the fact that he did that.
I don't mind that, like, he went back and, like, he added the scene where it was Han Solo talking to Jabba the Hutt.
Right.
I'm perfectly fine with that, but don't take away the option to see it how you originally saw it.
No, I will agree that. I don't
Like-
think he should remove the old one.
That's,
but
it's come back, hasn't it? Isn't there like a special?
Like, I get it. Like, I will say this: Star Wars is very much his. Like, he very much loves it and has dedicated everything to it. And I'm perfectly fine with him being like, you know what, I really wanted to add this, but we couldn't do it, or it didn't fit, or, you know, money. But like I said, you know, some people, you know, love the original Star Wars and how they came out.
Right.
And that's fine. Just give it the option to, you know, with technology it is today, you can, I'm sure if you clicked on Star Wars Episode 4, you could be like, okay, do you want to watch this edition, this edition, this edition, you know, because there's so many different versions now.
And that I will agree with. Like, you should not remove your original art that people fell in love with, but to go back and add in these scenes and re-spruce it, like he made the aliens, like the CG aliens that are singing in the bar and stuff that weren't in the original, like that's cool to me. I really respect that, to be able to go through and be like, I had a vision that I couldn't execute on, and now I'm going to go do that.
Mm-hmm.
we gotten a little off topic.
We got really off topic.
What were we talking about? Star Wars?
Sin City, I think, was how
okay.
we got here. So.
Yeah. So do we have anything
Sin
else?
City to the spirit to Star Wars.
Yep.
Do we have anything we want to add in on Adam's pitches?
Pitches.
Well, your comic book pitches for Rank Me Off.
Oh,
Yeah, these are all. I mean, these are good ones.
Is there any more you would like to talk about on them?
We do honorable mentions at the end.
No, if
Come
you
on,
don't-
this is episode 4, Cody.
if you guys are tired of Cape and Cal stuff, check out some of like me and Daniel both read Sin City. Jinx and AKA Golf. They may be hard to find, but like The Creep is really good. Any Hellblazer. It's just Good Intentions is my favorite because it was the first one I picked up. So, but any of the
That's-
original
I-
Vertigo.
That's not
The
the
name Hellblazer. Can I get more context into that?
It's Constantine.
John Constantine.
Okay, so that is okay. Before he became
Yeah, before he was a
friendly
spell slinger.
Constantine.
Yeah.
Before he was a spell slinger, he was like a detective that could do some rituals and
Yeah,
stuff.
and he was like like he did magic, but it like wore him out. So he mainly just lied his way through shit.
So for
And-
now, so he wasn't doing Dr. Fate shit. He was
Right.
doing
Right.
like more supernatural stuff. You would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the magic was a lot slower, more intentional, more complicated.
That's not the one that every single Constantine thing does, where it's the person gets dragged to hell, the little girl gets dragged to hell.
That's the original Vertigo line. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like one time he had a buddy who was an alcoholic and he was dying, and so he went to visit his buddy, and his buddy's like, yeah, I'm dying, and he goes, oh, I'm scared. And he goes, no, don't be afraid of death. He goes, no, I sold my soul to the devil and I'm fucked. I'm dying. And so Constantine's like, yeah, all right, I'll get you out of this. And he made wine at his place. So Lucifer comes. Well, I don't remember if it was because in the Vertigo there's Satan, I think Lucifer, two different characters. But anyway, the archetype devil comes to claim his friend's soul, and Constantine's like, yeah, hang on, buddy, let's go down and drink some of this wine, because he had like a natural spring well down. His friend did, where he made this wine. He's like, yeah, come on, have a drink. You can take him anytime. Let's go. And he goes down there and he grabs a cup of water to take a drink. And when Satan or Lucifer wasn't looking, he like not baptized, but like blessed it into holy water, because Constantine's sanctioned in all these religions. And he goes, yeah, let's have a drink. And then he took a drink and it like fucked him up. And have you read that storyline?
No, it sounds great though.
So something goes on where it's like Lucifer. So he drinks water and he's in like a lot of pain. And Constantine's like, well, yeah, I can fix that for you, but my buddy's soul's going to heaven. And he's like, yeah, fine, fuck it, yeah, fine, take care of it. So he goes, send my buddy's soul up to heaven first, and I'll release you from this pain or whatever. He's like more of a grifter in that.
Okay, more of like
is that the same style to where like he's damned to go to hell, so he gets out of it. So like there's like 3 lords of hell, and so he sells his soul to each of the lords.
Have you seen the Keanu Reeves movie?
Yes.
There's a storyline basically like that, except he's not in the Keanu Reeves. I think he's like Catholic or Christian.
Yeah.
In the Vertigo line, like all religion, like Constantine doesn't have a designated.
So it's more of like right religion for the right job.
Right. And so he's going to hell because he has done all this stuff to piss off all these demons, and he knows, because he is dying of cancer. That part of the movie is in the comic books. So what he does is he goes down, and there's like all these lords of hell. So he goes to one lord. He goes, hey, I'll sell you my soul for this. He's like, okay. And then unbeknownst to that lord, he goes to the next one and be like, hey, I'll sell you my soul for blah. And so he goes to all 3. So then when he's dying of cancer, all these lords of hell come up to get his soul. And Constantine's just like laying there like, oh, you guys are fucked. I promise you my soul to all. And they're like fighting over him. And one lord's like, look, he fucking got us, because if we have a fight, then all hell's going to, pun intended, I guess, all hell's going to break loose in hell. So they cure him of his cancer.
To give him more time to work out the fucking legal situation.
And he goes, no, basically just like what Lucifer says in the movie, he goes, you will fuck up again. Don't you worry about that. And we will come and get you this time. So it's like shit like that.
All right. I like that.
You want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. All right.
No, I meant like, do you want to fight? Like, let's fucking go.
You know, I had
I hope to God you never fight like that. This is how Cody fights. Arms down, face presented. Best way to go.
The joke's on you. I have an iron head technique.
Yes, because I can't tell that you're going to headbutt me when you reel it back.
telegraphed.
All right, so I have a couple mangas on my list.
No, that doesn't count.
Here we go.
Doesn't count.
I asked you about this, and you guys agreed with me.
No.
So I can present that.
Robot
probably
bigger
count.
than the known universe.
Yeah, that probably counts.
But
Because I doubt we're going to do a manga episode, so...
So, well, I do have a couple traditional ones. I have the Ultimate Spider-Man run. And that's one of the few comic book runs I did read.
The Peter Parker or Miles Morales?
Peter Parker.
Okay.
So, what I really enjoyed about the Ultimate Spider-Man run was it was teenager Spider-Man in a world full of adults saying, "Get out of here, you stupid fucking kid. This is way over your head."
Was he wearing a sweater vest?
No.
Didn't Peter Parker die in the Ultimate Universe?
He did.
Yeah. He died as part of... well, they thought they killed him part of Ultimatum, and then he survived Ultimatum.
Is that the...
Oh, he survived. I thought he died right off. He survived fairly long into the...
Yeah, he survived Ultimatum, and then like the first major arc ended with him dying.
Is that the one where he
Post-Ultimatum.
body swapped with Doc Ock?
No, that's Superior Spider-Man. That was in 616.
Oh, I didn't know if that was in that.
But it's this constant thing. It is a kid trying to being in an adult world of trying to be a hero. He calls himself Spider-Man, and you have epic scenes like Black Cat is hitting on him and kisses him, and he's like, "Oh my God, hot lady!" Then he shows her like, "Hey, I'm just a teenager," and she throws up because she just made out with a minor.
I would not have told her I was a teenager.
Yeah, then you have other scenes of him showing up to a 5-way showdown in this gang situation after the Kingpin had been put away for a little bit, where Hammerhead's trying to take over. So you have Moon Knight, you have Shang-Chi and Luke Cage, you have
Daredevil.
Yeah, Daredevil, Black Cat. You have all these guys playing, and he basically just gets out of the window like, stay the hell out of this, kid. And just this entire, and even towards the end of that, where he takes a bullet for Captain America. And I think is that the after Ultimatum?
No. When he takes the bullet for Cap, that was 616
That was
as
Civil
the
War,
part of
wasn't it?
the Civil War II run.
No, like I think it happened in Ultimate too, because he gets shot taking a bullet for Captain America. He then goes home to trick, as Green Goblin is the monstrous Green Goblin, and he's trying to kill Aunt May and Mary Jane or something, or maybe it was Gwen Stacy in the Ultimate Universe, and he basically bleeds out while fighting the Goblin, I thought.
Oh, I haven't seen. I only read up to the one volume past Ultimatum. So if that happened after Ultimatum, then I haven't read that yet.
Way to go, Cody. Spoilers.
My apologies.
No, it's fine. It's,
Yeah, so he takes...
Did you know John Cena turned heel?
oh no.
So he
Did
takes...
you know that in Kansas you don't have to have a front license plate?
So he ends up taking a bullet for Captain America, basically bleeds out fighting Green Goblin to keep his family safe, dies, and then you have, after that point, you have the transition where the comic book goes on for a little bit, showing the after effects of Peter Parker dying, and that's when we get Miles Morales. Like, after the death, great power comes great responsibility, and how Miles is getting shit for pretending to be Spider-Man and whatnot. People are acting like, even a younger kid than Peter was.
Yeah.
And so we have that, just a kid trying to do right in an adult world.
Did Tom Holland get the with great power comes great responsibility speech?
In Homecoming.
Did he?
Yeah, he got it from Aunt May.
Huh. Okay.
That whole run was fantastic. They did some really smart things. I think one of my favorite things is that, like, after Mary Jane, like, is in so much trouble for so long, she eventually, like they break up, and he's like, yeah, this is a bad idea. And then he starts dating Shadowcat, and it's like, this is awesome. I have a girlfriend I don't have to protect. She can actually help. And Shadowcat gets a really badass looking costume and goes adventuring with Peter Parker. Like, that was one of my favorite parts of that.
You know what the...
It was just so
Is that
integrated.
Kitty Pryde?
Yeah.
Is that the Ultimate Universe?
Yes.
You know what the best Spider-Man movie is?
What?
The first Spider-Verse cartoon.
It's pretty good.
That was decent. I just saw the second one the other day.
I have not seen the second one. I like the first one.
The second one's decent. I was real pushback because I didn't like the animation style. But if you can get past the animation style, it's a real solid story.
I like the animation style, and I like the let's start from the very beginning. Like, every character says that, and then like it's a comic book slap, and then it shows it.
Yeah.
Because I think there's a scene in one of the comic books where it's like Peter Parker meets like all these different versions of Spider-Man, and like
That it?
they lie and start talking about like how amazing their lives are, and like
That it?
Peter Parker feels like shit, and they're all like, "Oh no, we're fucking with you. Our lives suck too."
Yeah, and that idea of Peter Parker, that
That one. It's right here. Yeah, I just brought it
he
up.
would, for the detriment of himself, try and be the better person.
I wonder if Kitty Pryde porn. I'm gonna look that up.
Oh, there's dozens,
Look up
Okay.
Applejack.
My next one is Deadpool.
of course.
And what, for all the jokes aside, like, a lot of people like to go to the mean side of Deadpool. The side that I kind of admired most about him is him turning pain into masking pain with laughter.
So is it a specific Deadpool comic?
I can't remember the run of it. I have like several comics. I don't remember what it's called, but it's in the...
I just didn't know if there was a specific one. Like, the only Deadpool comic I've ever heard of is the one where like there's a girl that's like threatening to kill herself.
Yes.
And like Deadpool takes her around, and like he doesn't do the superhero,
Everything's
oh, you've
gonna
got
be
so
all
much
right.
to live for. He's got like, okay, if you're gonna fucking do it, like, let's do it. And then he's just like wasting time, and like pulls her up to a hospital, and he's like, I can't save you. Like, these people can. Like, I can't fix you. Like, you have to take it. Like, that's the only Deadpool comic that I
Yes,
I know
think
of.
it's from that run that I'm talking about, because I have like several volumes of that run. That's pretty good. And it's other primary scenes, like every time he tries to do something good, it ends up backfiring on him. Like that's the one where he finds out he has a daughter that's going to be manifesting powers in the future, and it even leads to another emotional moment that I've heard of later on, where it's him trying to kill the entire universe because he keeps coming back. He can't die. And he does not want to live in a world where he doesn't have access to the ones he loved. He's tired of seeing his loved one die before him. And so his daughter, Ellie, has kind of similar powers to him. Her mutation is she ages normally, but anytime she would die, she reverts back to when her powers first manifested, back when she was a teenager.
That's an interesting take on it.
Yeah, so, and it's that sort of thing where we need I will survive from getting, if I'm not eradicated down to the last cell, I live. And the whole, I am cursed to last for eternity, and the whole metaverse of that only Wolverine's power is popularity. Now that is my curse too. I do such terrible stuff and I shouldn't be this popular. But because people get a laugh out of it, I'm going to be around forever.
Right on.
There's other scenes, like Winpool has a sidekick called Jeff the Land Shark.
Oh, that's what that's from?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but Winpool's going to get canceled again because she can never have a series that lasts more than a couple of years. And so she, using the meta knowledge she has, you are a more popular character than I am, so I'm going to give you Jeff to take care of. That way he doesn't get forgotten. So that sort of powerful moments of using the meta to tell a sentimental story.
But then he shows us his dick.
Yeah, which is all sort of fucking gangrene, garled, fucking terrible.
That'd be hilarious if his dick is just pristine.
The one part of him that is.
Everything else is just nasty and gross, and he's just look at this, huh?
Now this starts my mangas.
No, here we go.
First one is Full Metal Alchemist.
I'm gonna zone out.
It is a story about two
Apple,
brothers
Jack.
using alchemy, or the main power in their world, to convert something into something else.
Is that the one where that dude stuck in a night?
Yes.
Okay.
So they are two children who learn how to use alchemy to try and bring their dead mother back to life.
The dude in the armor's a child?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, he
fucking
was
mom is so
8
weird.
years old.
Yeah, it's like a little brother, right?
Yes, he's the little brother. He was 8 years old. The older brother's 10. They are performing human transmutation, which is a forbidden sin in the world because so much can go wrong, and it didn't.
Fuck,
And
do
so,
you remember what you could do when you were 10?
Yeah, so they're pretty much they're
You guys couldn't resurrect the dead at 10?
I can't remember what I can do
No, I
now.
could kill people though.
Oh.
yeah.
Explains a lot.
So trying to
I had a notebook where if I wrote in it, it'd kill somebody.
yeah. So taking something like sanctity of human life and trying to convert it into a mathematical formula. We have all the ingredients we need to make a human body. The carbon, the sulfur, the sodium. It is this much, and we perform this, we can have a body that we can put our mom's dead soul into. And it goes horribly wrong. The older brother loses his arm and his leg. The younger brother loses his entire body. No, sorry. The older brother only loses his leg.
They didn't make a hot
I thought it
mom
was
body,
an
did
arm.
they? Because
Yeah.
that'd be weird.
Guy loses his leg, and then to get his brother's soul back, he trades his arm.
Oh, okay.
And so is now their quest of getting their bodies back, to forget their skins forgiven. And it goes through all this other moral quandaries of, you have this power, be responsible for it, or use it for destruction.
Please tell me there's a joke where the older brother, the younger brother's being a dick, and the older brother's you know what? I brought you back. It cost me an arm and a leg.
I wouldn't put it past him to have that kind of joke.
Well, and it goes to this other, and it's an entire world where it ends up being based on a lie. Their entire perception of the stuff, of the rules of the world, have been fabricated for this one person wanting to live forever. And it goes real hard for relatively a child-friendly medium that was presented. And then it has heart-wrenching emotional scenes. There's this one scene where this alchemist that they get friendly with, trying to learn certain alchemy secrets from, basically uses his own daughter for an experiment and fuses her soul with a dog. And all this other stuff.
What was the end? What was the means to the end of that fucking experiment?
Basically, there are chimeras, which they're, for the military, making a intelligent attack monster. And it's, to this point, it's hard to get one that can communicate with actual human language. And so, Guy being like, how he did that, he took a human person, fused them with a monster, so they could have an animal that can communicate and spy for them.
I know, like, theatrically, like, cinematically, that's a great story. But they were trying to train raptors for the army. Like, like, I understand. But, like, realistically, what's going to be a better weapon? A fucking nuke that we can just drop from a button, or some monster that may get mad at us and attack us?
And that was the thing. This guy was a renowned scientist who was at his last thing, like, you don't produce results, your funding's getting cut off and stuff like that. And so he made a drastic decision to present a workable result and all this other stuff. It is a really good starting point for an anime, if you'd like to. It's called Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. There's original, but it halfway through it diverts like a 180 from the source material. So if you really like to watch a good opener anime for people who are not really into anime, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood's a pretty good start.
Okay.
Next one I got is Naruto.
Is that the one where they run like this?
Yes.
Okay.
It is about a kid who's going to be Hokage someday, is the leader of his ninja village.
Is that the one with the spiral mask?
One with a spiral mask.
Yeah, on my YouTube shorts, there was like these AIs. Like, what if Dragon Ball people were real?
Oh yeah, I've seen that too.
Yeah.
For a lot of anime, they sure look very Caucasian.
Yeah. So the basic.
That's actually by like the art style. So yeah.
Yeah. So the basic.
You got something against white people?
I hate them. I'm a self-hating white person.
The basic synopsis.
You're white?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't see color.
The basic synopsis is this is an orphan kid in this ninja village who has a 9-tailed fox demon sealed inside him. And he is ostracized from his village. Everybody hates him because he has this monster that attacked the village back. They killed a bunch of people. And it's him trying to raise to the highest position to get everybody to believe that he's a good person and that he has value as a person.
Is this a show with Inuyasha in it?
No.
No, that would be Inuyasha.
There was, remember on Adult Swim, what was the anime block? Toonami. There was like an old cartoon or an old commercial where I think it was supposed to be funny. I didn't know the show, so I don't know if it was funny, but it was some girl going, Inuyasha! Then it was, I'm assuming, Inuyasha saying this girl's name. Then it cut back to the girl going, Inuyasha!
Yeah, Inuyasha. Kagome!
And they just went back and forth for like 5 minutes. I'm like, is this funny? I don't understand the reference. Was it supposed to be funny?
Well, it's just an old anime.
Oh, okay.
And it's based, the writer for that, I think she's about 80 now.
Did they say their names a lot? Is that why it was funny?
Yeah, so there's like a thing where she has like some sort of control over him.
Yeah.
By saying his name and like.
Yeah.
So is that where they do like the anime, like where like he falls down?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
She says like
really
down,
abruptly.
Yeah, down boy, and like
Yeah,
the force
sit
like
boy.
sit boy, and it smashes him to the ground.
Yeah, so it's basically a control collar, basically, to keep him from attacking her.
Gotcha. Okay.
But this was back when he only wanted something from her, and he was basically still technically evil.
What was the thing he wanted from her?
The Jewel of Force.
Vagina?
Boobies.
Oh. Boobies.
Boobies.
Anyway, I got you off track. Sorry.
But the reason why I think Naruto resonated with me, because it's sort of back in, I don't know about you guys, but I had this feeling back when I was younger. Everybody hated me. Everybody liked me. I was alone. And everybody just needed to give me a chance.
When I was younger, I definitely said everyone hates Cody.
Mm-hmm.
But it was that sort of thing like, hey, I'm more than...
And fuck Kansas.
I'm more than the monster they think I am, and I'm going to show them one day. I'm going to be really somebody great and wonderful. And it really sort of felt that connection as a outcast, a loner. And I think that's what drew a lot of myself and a lot of other kids to it growing up. The last one is obviously One Piece.
Never heard of it.
I say One Piece
What
because
about
I have
bathing
never
suit?
had a manga give me so much joy and so much sorrow at the same time. For every high, there is a low. For all these characters' ambitions, these dreams they want, are sometimes so simple but just seem so far away, and the sort of the fuck you of the world around them saying, hey, you can't do this because there's a status quo to this. Like, you are meant to do this thing because we say so, because we are so high and mighty. But this going against the grain, making your own path forward, is one of the things that I've always been drawn to. And how you can be dark and have dark elements and sadness, but it doesn't always have to be that.
Okay.
Like, you can make joy to a lot of situation, and it's just more about your outlook on a situation. That's it from Cody.
All right.
You want to go? You want me to go?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay.
I'll come last this time. I'll stop being selfish.
Okay. Number 5. Superman Red Sun.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I like the fact that it's not. I guess it's evil Superman in the sense that he's doing what he thinks is best for the world, and it's not just Superman woke up and he's evil. Like, it's just, I'm going to do these things because I know what's best for you, and then it still has like Lex Luthor, where like he's still the opposite of him, but it's just watching like all of his different versions fail. I love Russian Batman with the weird ass Russian hat. I like that version of Green Lantern where he's don't cheat.
The fighter pilot.
Yeah, like he was a POW, and they're like, he survived strictly because he willed himself to survive, and like JFK is like a third term just the alternate history reality.
Like, throwing a major character like that into the history of our world, how it could vastly change it.
Yeah. And then I like the ending, how it's a time loop. So like the ending is Brainiac is Superman's using Brainiac, and then you find out that Brainiac's like, I'm a genius intellect far superior than all of you people. Do you think that you can control me? And he's going to explode, and Superman's got to like take him into space, and they all think Superman dies because he's got to fly like 15 million miles in like a minute. And so then it's like the Lex Luthor family history as like it goes on, and him like fixing the world, and like it goes from him being Luthor to L, and then in that reality he has a son he has an ancestor whose name is Jor-El, just the letter L. And Superman's still alive in like this thousands of years in the future, and they send his son back, who ends up being that Superman. So he's not from Krypton. He's from a future version of Earth that like went through this time displacement tunnel or something like that.
Did you like the animated version?
I have not seen the animated version.
Okay.
Is it good?
That's all right.
Does-
They cut a lot of stuff out, but they leave in the important beats, and it's pretty solid.
Yeah, from the animated one, I like the sort of the bizarro take on that, a failed clone of Superman.
Or does he still have like the giant US symbol and so? Yeah.
And it's the reason he's turned bizarroing out as they have Lex like, I don't care, I think he has a chance of killing him, increase the fucking power.
Yeah. Next would be the Blackest Night series.
Oh, okay.
That I've always liked Green Lantern, but that kind of really got me into it. I like that it's a entire DC continuity. Like, they bring in like everyone that you can think of. I like that they took Black Hand, who in my opinion was like a really like 70s like really like lame kind of villain. Like, that he has like this gun that just kind of like absorbs Green Lantern's blast and like he redirects it.
If my power is I have to rely solely on Green Lantern to power me up.
Yeah, and now he's just like, oh hey, by the way, I am Death. Like,
Did they just? Someone is now the new Black Hand. Have you seen that?
mm-mm.
Do you know who the new Black Hand is? It's someone.
No,
it's an actual. It's a already established character.
Like the opening of the first Blackest Night is Black Hand, whose name is William Hand. Like he's sitting there. He takes his I don't know what ray gun, if that's what you want to call it, and he puts it to his head and just blows the brains out the side of his head. And then he's brought back to life by Necron, who is Death. And it's like all these different mind fucks. Like Kyle Rayner's girlfriend is like, when he becomes Green Lantern, she's like folded up and shoved into a fridge. And like I said, these rings are like bringing everyone back to life. And he has like a hallucination, like he's in space and there's just like a floating fridge in the depths of space. And like you see, like they have like her voice coming from it. And it's just like this zombie mindfuck type of thing.
One of the things I liked about Blackest Nights is giving a consequence for death and resurrection in the DC universe. That idea of like, yeah, we've said that we brought this character back because basically the real world version, they're too popular to leave dead.
Yeah.
But giving a consequence for those actions.
Well, that and it's no hero can escape death. Like, yes, Superman comes back and then a Black Lantern ring finds him and it's like, you were dead. You belong to me now. And then it's got, all the different Lantern Corps, and there's I can't remember which version of it because there's a whole bunch of different books, but there's like a 2-page spread, and it's got like all the leaders of the different corps, and their rings are all charged up, and it's got energy flowing out of them, and it's just a really great design.
One of my favorite things from that is Larfreeze and Lex Luthor fighting over the Orange Battery.
Yeah.
And because Lex Luthor like, could you imagine what we do with all this power? And Larfreeze's reason for why it's his is just because it is mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't share my power.
Yeah.
I like
how they were hinting at Hal Jordan being Black Hand in the Absolute universe, but it turned out to be a red herring.
I haven't read any. I've kind of wanted to read the Absolute universe, but I don't know where they're going with everything, because it's like in the Absolute universe, Superman arrives on Earth, but he arrives as an adult. Bruce Wayne isn't like a billionaire. He's just like he's like a blue collar worker, and like the bat symbol is like an axe head that like he can take off, I think.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Hey, quick side tangent. Do you think
We don't do tangents on that. We are strictly on the ball.
Do you feel like whenever we hear something like this Absolute universe or this, do we feel with our current modern way of how we get media, like through Netflix and stuff, like, I'm going to wait for the entire season to be out, do you feel like you're less likely to support something issue by issue nowadays? Because, I just want to wait for the entire thing to be done. Because I don't want to do the time of waiting for the next episode.
I don't want to wait. Like, I want to know, like, I want to be able to buy the whole series and sit there and binge read the entire thing.
Right. I'm the same way. That's why I'm a trade collector. Because the trades usually at least end on some sort of note where you can be like, okay, this story arc is satisfied and leaves me wanting the next one. So I tend to pick up the trade paperbacks because the monthly 22-page issue, and I'm just not in for that. I want to have the full story arc.
Like there's a comic book series called Once and Future. It's about this group of people bringing King Arthur back to life, and I've got like 3 of the 4, but the 4th one hasn't been released yet, and I'm just like I'll have to go back and reread because I want to read them all where like it's still completely fresh in my head.
That's what I had to do with Game of Thrones, because the first season came out and I loved it, and then the second season came out and I forgot so much the first season. I'm like, I have to rewatch the first season.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, if you do it now, then when
I said to myself, Kevin.
the third season, you're gonna have to do it all over again. So I just stopped watching Game of Thrones until the final season was airing, and I watched seasons 1 through 6, and then I was watching 7 as the episodes came out.
Another side tangent to that: if you consume media in that way, do you have any leg to stand on when somebody accidentally spoils something for you?
I think it depends on how someone spoiled something for you. I think
Like, hey Daniel, do you know Hina? Which thing is Hina turning heel?
right. Like I think like there is a justification for like having that conversation. Like, hey, have you seen this yet? You know, and rather than just coming out and saying, I can't believe that Daenerys died in Game of Thrones. You know, I think there's a big thing is like, hey, where are you at on this show? Because I want to talk about it.
I mean, yeah, unless you know that like this, like something's like 20 years old, and then it's like, okay, you know,
You've had 20 years.
You kind of assume that spoilers are going to happen.
Right.
Rosebud
Like-
is Citizen Kane's.
His sled.
Yes.
I just saved you 2 boobless hours. It's his sled.
Yeah. Like with oh fuck, I had a thing. Oh, like so when the spoil, it also kind of depends on where the spoil comes from. Like if the spoil comes from social media, then sure, that's on me. But if it comes from somebody, then it's on that person still, because they didn't even bother checking with you whether you're up to date or not, because people have lives.
Right.
And like when the Red Wedding happened, like that happens in what, season 3?
3.
Yeah. And I had no idea. Like I had heard of the Red Wedding and I knew that people died, but I could not have told you who died previously watching that episode. I just knew that at some point that the Red Wedding was going to be a massacre. And then the Red Wedding happened. And frankly, it was built up far more than I thought. Like I was kind of disappointed at the Red Wedding. The Purple Wedding was far more shocking to me because nobody talked about that shit.
Wasn't as cool.
Huh?
Wasn't as cool.
I kind of disagree.
Wait, the
I
Purple
really
Wedding's a real thing?
I like the
Yeah.
Purple Wedding way more.
It's when Joffrey dies.
Which one's that?
The kid.
The one that
the kid
everybody
from Batman
hates.
Begins.
Oh,
Yeah,
Nah,
the kid.
I'd rather have Joffrey than fucking Ramsay.
Yeah, the kid who is so good that he can no longer get acting roles because everyone hates him from being Joffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he actually came back. He retired, and then I think he's coming back, or he's
Yeah.
trying to.
That's good.
Well,
If you're so good at your job that you've accidentally blacklisted yourself because you're an asshole, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Any other random tangents you'd like to go
Sorry,
on?
I thought it was a relevant one.
yeah, that's good.
No, it was not. You should feel bad.
Tangents are never relevant.
Oh, fine. I'll
Tangents
go
are
back on
tangents.
it. Like I find myself doing the opposite. I'll give it a few issues, and then I'll catch up on it. Then I'll give it a few issues, and I catch up on it.
Yeah, fair.
Okay, number 3. Green Lantern Emerald Twilight. That's the one where it starts off, it picks up after the reign of Superman, where Mongol destroys Coast City, and it's Hal it's
sorry.
Hal Jordan sitting in like a crater, and it literally says this is a crater the size of such and such, but it's not as big as the hole in Hal Jordan's heart, because like everyone he knew is dead, and he's this hero that couldn't save these people. And to me, I like it because it shows just how far someone who is good can be pushed to where they just like lose it. You know, he uses his power ring to kind of make this simulation of Coast City, and then the Guardians are like, hey, that sucks. You made this illusion to try and heal yourself, but that's against the rules. So now, after you've lost all these people, we're kicking you out of the only thing that you have left. Because Hal Jordan has nothing stable in his life. Like he got fired from being a pilot. There was like a huge run where it's just like him bouncing around from random job to random job,
He
and
was
like
in a really shitty movie.
yes, bumming. Like there's a comic series where like he's begging Barry Allen to like lend him money because he can't afford anything. Like he's a truck driver, but he loses that because he has to keep flying off to go save everything.
You never make your miles.
Basically. And he's just like, you know what? I've had enough. Like, I've given everything, and now I'm not going to be denied. And that's when he just goes to Oa and just lays waste to everyone. Like, all these people that have looked up to him and he just tears through them all. And it's got one of my favorite pages where it's him doing a very creepy fucking face, and he's got both of his hands up like this, and there's just like countless rings on all of his fingers.
Yeah, that's where that's from. Okay.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
I've seen that.
He killed Kilowog?
Yeah.
What about the fish face, dude? That one was my favorite.
Yeah. He kills like everyone. And then the ones that he doesn't kill, like, he basically kills them because once he beats them, he takes their rings and is like, here's enough charge. Get yourself to a planet or die. I don't care what happens to
So
you.
how does Kilowog come back in continuity?
I can't remember how he comes back. There's a whole bunch of different resurrections and everything like that. Like, Kyle Rayner brings back the Green Lantern Corps because he absorbs the leftover energy after Hal Jordan reignited the sun. It's a long story.
Okay.
more resurrections in DC or Marvel?
Oh, I don't know if you could.
DC, I think, but not by like it's real close. But if I had to guess, I would say DC.
But it's just, and like the Guardians are so worried, like they bring Sinestro out to fight him, and Hal Jordan's just like, I don't need these fucking rings, I just need this one, and just snaps his fucking neck, and he's like, you know what, I've given everything, and like he flies in and like absorbs all the Green Lantern power back. Like, John Stewart's like stranded on like some desolate planet because Hal Jordan's just taken everything. So, like I said, it's just, I like that because it's how a hero can fall, and to where it's like, you know.
Is it also that feeling like sometimes you can put too much on your heroes?
Yeah, like it's not, you know, the Superman. He is all good. He is pure. Like, he gets angry, yes, but he is still. I mean, the version of Superman that I like, he's the big blue Boy Scout. He's, you know, that person. To whereas Hal Jordan, you know, he doesn't have. I mean, yes, he has, you know, strong will, but he's like, I can still fail, and I've done these things, and now I'm going to make it sure that it never happens again. And then he basically becomes Sinestro in the sense that Sinestro ruled and had the perfect sector because he was like, I won't allow you to do bad things because you will be so scared of me. Mm-hmm. So like, he protected, quote unquote, through fear.
All right.
And then it leads into the I can't remember the title, but it's where Hal Jordan as Parallax is fighting everyone, and they're like, the sun's going out, we gotta do something about it. And he's still like, there's still that part of him that's like, okay, I'm a bad guy, but I can't let this happen. And then he flies into the sun.
I'm going to keep this place safe, but that means the continuing existence.
Yeah.
Why would we want to protect the universe? Because we live in it.
Yeah. Exactly. Number 2 is a series called Ghosted. Specifically the first one called Haunted House. It's very much, it's not a Cape and Cowl story. It's very much it has supernatural elements, but it's set in the now, but it's very much noir in the sense that like your con man main character, like, he gets busted out of jail and he's like, I want a suit. I want he goes, I want a suit. I want cigarettes. I want a Russian chick with big tits. I don't care if they're fake or not. And he's like, I don't even care if she's really Russian. Just keep her with the fucking sexy accent. Like, that's like, and like his main thing is he's got to this this guy's like, you need to steal a ghost for me. And so he's like, fine, I'll do it. I'm going to be paid this much, and I get to select the team. Like, it's kind of like an Ocean's 11 con man job. And like Adam said, like, he's the type of person that he's three steps ahead. Like, the bad guy's playing checkers, and he's playing like 4 different games of chess all at once. Like, he's not the smartest, but he can also, be like, okay, the plan was here to here, this happened, so now we're over here, that type of thing.
Does he know that's cheating? Because, like, the rules for checkers and chess are very different.
No, they're the same. Exactly the same. So, and I don't know if anybody cares about spoilers or anything like that, but, like, he comes up with a plan and solves it, and there's just a bunch of really good panels in it. Like, they go to this house, and, like, they have this quote-unquote psychic, and like he's like, okay, he doesn't believe in any of that stuff. He's like, are there any ghosts here? And like it shows her like with her eyes closed, and then she opens her eyes, and like they're all surrounded by these ghosts that they can't see, and she's just like, nope, not a single thing. And like you find out that his backstory is like he like robbed a casino that. And a lot of it's cliches, like the casino was built on an ancient Indian burial ground, and like all of his team got possessed, and like you don't know how they die leading up through the story. And then he's like, yeah, I fucking killed them all, because you know what? I'm going to survive. I don't care about any of these people. Like, I'm not going to die, and I'm not going to die here. And so like he ends up, of course, getting away with it. And there's a whole series, but it's really good.
Who's the writer?
I would have to look it up. It's an Image. It's Image Comics.
I'll have to look at that.
Image and like Dark Horse have so much good stuff intermingled with all of their garbage. That's it's like hard. Like when you talk about titles like that are like, that sounds really good, but because it's Image, I probably would have just glanced at it and moved on, because like it's so hard to tell what their good stuff is.
It was one of those where I was at a comic book store in Columbia, and I had to do something that Adam told me. He's like, just walk through, look at a title, and just be like, you know what, this looks good, and just fucking take it and go. But yeah, it's a really good series.
What's that practice called?
I don't know. Yes,
what's that
what
called?
Just go up, grab a title.
I don't know. Like I did it a couple times at Underdark too, where I just walked through and was just like, I either looked at the title or like I looked at the cover art, and I was like, I have no idea what this is about. I'm gonna go for it.
Yeah.
That's what I do at Chelsea's, and I get some really dark shit.
Well, stay out of the big and beautiful black.
I've found I've got kinks I wasn't even aware I had.
You got that inflatable goat.
Mm-hmm.
And then my number
It's
one.
not bad.
My number one is
a little gruff.
Kingdom Come.
Yeah, that was another movie I got from Chelsea's, Kingdom Come.
Fuck.
Kingdom Come is solid.
Kingdom Come's been my favorite for a while. I used to beg Adam to let me borrow it and read it until I finally bought my own copy. But it's got my favorite versions of all those characters. Like I love that depiction of the Flash, where the Flash he's so powered at this point, like he can't slow down. I love the Alex Ross artwork.
Yes, very much so. That's what we were talking about in our very, very, very first episode of Underdark. Do you think they could ever make a superhero movie where they have Alex Ross type costumes instead of basically souped up tactical gear?
I would love it.
I don't think
if anyone,
that they
as
would
much
do
as
it.
I don't really like the guy. Well, I mean, I don't dislike the guy, but if anyone can do it, it's probably going to be James Gunn. If anyone, can
Well, I mean,
pull
they
it
gave
out,
him
it'd be James Gunn.
the shorts back. A lot of people are hating on that costume.
I think part of it is that they kind of expected him to be like ripped, and this Superman's kind of everyman. Like this is a Superman that doesn't have to work out. Like So he
But
doesn't.
but I think he is ripped, but I just don't think it's like it's not the form fitting that like Cavill's was.
Yeah. I'm excited for the new Superman movie.
And I
But-
like that. Sorry,
No,
I
go
like
ahead.
that two ways. Like, one, I think it's easier for him to be Clark Kent that way, and two, if he is super strength and power, why are we saying that has to be because he's super fucking muscular?
Right.
Like that idea of like, no, his body's just built differently.
Right.
Like I said, I'm glad they brought back the trunks.
Yeah. Supposedly, Secret War and Doomsday were supposed to have comic accurate costumes for everybody.
Ooh.
So they have that's the rumor.
I'd
That's
love to see classic gold cast iron Iron Man armor suit.
Yeah, apparently we're getting like that came from someone saw James Marsden, thank you. Saw him in a classic 90s Cyclops outfit.
Ooh.
So
Does that mean we're gonna get comic book accurate Scarlet Witch?
hopefully, because god
thank God.
damn.
Yes.
But
Does that mean we're gonna get comic book accurate Emma Frost? Is she in this movie?
I don't know if Emma Frost is, but I sure hope they fucking cast her.
Bring her in.
like I said, the artwork, I like how it seems like no matter what path they choose, like it's not like a simple we'll do this. Like it seems like any choice they make, like shit just keeps falling apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I like this scene where it's Superman. He's like, he looks at Billy Batson. He's like, you have to choose. Like, you're a god. Like, you're a hero and a human. Like, you walk in both of these realms. Like, and it's not Superman saying, oh, hey, you need to go stop this. It's, you can stop me or you can let me do this.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's Billy Batson saving the day. And then again, it kind of goes to the, and I know it might contradict my point where it's like Superman is all good, but it's finally he's pushed too far. Like everything like he has tried has been wiped out, and like it's him in the UN building where like he's about ready to rip down the ceiling and kill everyone because he's like, no one stops. Like no one.
Basically, it's roads to hell are paved with good intentions.
Yeah.
He tried, and he's just like,
He's like, you wanted me to be the Boy Scout, and then I wasn't good enough because I didn't kill the Joker, and then now you've got these heroes that are unchecked and they kill and murder, and then you didn't like that. And he's like, fine, now, you wanted me to kill all the bad people. Now this is what I'm going to do. And then that's when what's his name? I can't remember the preacher's name.
Oh, the old man?
Yeah, I want to say it's Norman, but I could be wrong.
Oh, it's Frank. No, I'm being legit. I think it is. Anyway,
He like talks him down, and it's everything like that. And then I liked the I guess parallel where Superman becomes
Farmer.
a farmer, the version of his dad. Batman opens up Wayne Manor, and he's not a doctor, but he basically has a hospital set up. And I like the planet Krypton. I thought that was pretty funny.
Mm.
And I like the Spectre. That was the first comic I read.
You're right, Norman McKay.
That was the first comic I ever read with the Spectre, and I really like that character.
Yeah, I need to reread Kingdom Come because I read it as, I think, my very first comic that was like a DC comic that wasn't just a Batman book.
Mm-hmm.
Like up until Kingdom Come, it was just like my only exposure with DC really in comic book form was Batman. And I did not have the appreciation for the characters. Like Spectre showed up, I'm like, who the fuck is this?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of other characters. Like I don't think I'd ever read anything with Shazam before, so I'm like, who the fuck is Shazam? So I really need to reread it now that I have a good understanding of who these other characters are and who these people are. Because I think I was 17 or something like that when I read it last. I was not very young or not very old.
Yeah, it's probably one of my favorites, and if if I'm ever like going back and forth, I'm like, I want to read something, but I don't know what to read. I'll pick that and read it, and then I usually find something new like every single time. Like I like the all the different versions where like it's got Green Lantern, Alan Scott Green Lantern for some reason, I believe, where it's like Green Lantern sits on his emerald throne in space awaiting a extraterrestrial threat that never comes. And then, you got the Flash lives within ticks of a second. And every time you see the Flash, like it's always that blurred. It's like him in like 3 different spots because he can't stop moving.
If I remember correctly, and I'm 90% sure it's Kingdom Come, but there is a cool scene where like Spectre is like walking up and there's a bookstore, and you can see Under the Hood by Hollis Mason in the bookstore window. Yeah, I always really appreciated that.
Yeah, and then I like Shazam keeps saying, or I guess Captain Marvel in that continuity keeps saying Shazam and hitting Superman with the lightning, and finally Superman's just like, fuck this, and like just like grabs him by the face.
I do remember that. Yeah.
So he can't talk anymore, and he's just like, listen, this is what I've been trying to tell you. And it's just like it was a good moment. Like I said, there's tons of panels in that comic book that I can think of that are just amazingly drawn.
Yeah, fuck, I need to get a copy of that. I need to read that again.
Like, one of the funniest jokes I remember from Deadpool, the Under the Hood got me. Mm-hmm. There's this one scene, Deadpool has this classic singer like help him out or something. There's that song like "Get Out of My Head and Into My Car."
Mm-hmm.
You know who sings that?
I think it's Billy Ocean.
Yeah, so he has Billy Ocean helping him out, and so he has the exact opposite of the line, like "Get out of my car and into my head" as he's kicking somebody out of a car.
Okay, that's funny.
I don't get it.
The other greatest joke is Deadpool versus Carnage, that. Because Carnage's whole thing, I'm so crazy I can't be predicted against. You can't think what I do. But Deadpool basically figures out everything he's going to do before, so the only thing Carnage can do that is his own free will at that point is sit in a jail cell and say, I'm going to sit here and do nothing because it's the only thing I know he can't predict I'm not going to do.
And that reminds me of, again, we're going off on a tangent, but there's a comic book character in the Deadpool universe called Slapstick.
Yes.
And he's literally like a cartoon character yanked out of like a cartoon and wandering around the world in cartoon physics. And he goes up against Taskmaster, and Taskmaster's like, anything you can do, I can do. And like he swings his sword at Slapstick, and Slapstick does like that 90-degree cartoon bend to duck from the sword. And then Slapstick swings the hammer, and Taskmaster does the 90-degree bend that he did and breaks his back.
Like, Slapstick is seriously depressing, though. Like, he's got a pair of gloves that gives him cartoon physics, but he can't take them off now. And so the only thing he wants is a real life. And so he has to pay people to, like, interact as, like, a real family for him. But he runs out of money, and they're all like, hey, you ain't got money, we ain't being your family anymore. Like, he's paying a prostitute to be his wife, just basically do like a sitcom sort of situation with him.
As you do.
Yeah.
And so everybody's like, hey, sorry, man, we can't really do this if you're not going to pay us. And, like, he's got a little boy playing his son. He's like, who's kind of feels bad for him, like, hey, you want to just do a game of catch on me? And he's like, nah, it's okay, Timmy, just go home.
Jumping the tracks and gently touching the third rail and electrocuting ourselves to death. Going back to
what?
Yeah, going back to the costumes. Batfleck's batsuit was comic-y.
Yeah, he was good in it.
I mean, they gave him like armored versions in the Flash, but
right.
Like
but I meant like the spandex cloth. Like
his looked cloth-like.
Batfleck's?
Yeah.
No.
In Batman v Superman?
You're one Adam West level batsuit?
Yeah, kinda.
I would absolutely.
It's got like the...
I mean, the problem with wearing spandex is it doesn't make you look muscular because you have to be able to see the curves and the cuts of a body. Spandex was designed for ladies to get rid of the cuts and the lines, and it's to smooth bodies out. So, spandex really... I mean... theoretically, none of that would work because as realistic as Alex Ross draws, I mean, a human doesn't really look like that. I mean, more realistically than Hugh Jackman really only looked that cut for like 30 seconds, long enough in the Wolverine to take his shirt off, and then he fucking started drinking water because he was having massive headaches.
Right.
That looks comic booky.
Yeah,
That
I
doesn't
didn't
look
know
that fun.
that a lot of weightlifters or bodybuilders like that basically dehydrated themselves to get better muscle definition.
yeah.
Like finding
Yeah.
that out was like, wait, you're saying you look more muscular when you haven't drink anything?
Because
Oh,
your
yeah.
skin
Tightens
tightens. Yeah.
Yeah, they
Ooh.
take diuretics and stuff. It's very dangerous. Like the week before the show, it's like very dangerous. That's why a lot of them, I think in the last maybe 5 years, 3 of them have passed out on stage and 2 of them have died from it.
Yeah, that's why you can't see on my muscles because I just drink a lot of water.
Oh, okay. You playing it safe. Good.
Yeah.
Like, what is it that where do they get locked in a pose, their muscles lock up? You ever heard of that?
Mm.
Like they
Yeah.
flex so hard they get locked in.
It's never happened to me.
All right, so my final 5, in no particular order, Megatron Origins.
I've read that.
Did you give that back?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so
Incredibly well written. Tells the story of how Megatron becomes Megatron and Prime becomes Prime, and like shows the origin of all the Transformers on Cybertron and the start of the Great War. And it just does such a good job respecting the characters and the storylines that they come from. And just one of the most well-written Megatrons ever in that book, in my opinion. And the fact that it shows that like Megatron and Optimus Prime are trying to do the same thing, just with different backgrounds and different tactics. Mm-hmm. But in the end, they want the same result. And it just shows that like some of the biggest conflicts in the world are all done through misunderstanding.
So that one definitely in my top 5. I love that one. And then X-Men: Age of Apocalypse, which is like an alternate reality where Xavier doesn't form the X-Men. He gets killed very, very early on, and him and Magneto split, and Magneto forms
Is that
the
where
X-Men.
Legion kills him?
Yes, Legion. Yes, I think it's Legion kills him. And it starts this whole new universe, and like the storytelling is really dark and gritty, but you take all of these characters and their powers essentially don't change. They just kind of evolve, or they embrace them in different ways.
Who are the Horsemen in that story?
You know what? I do not remember who the official
Way to
4
go,
horsemen
Adam.
are. I think Cyclops is one of them.
Damn. Is that what Angel, where he's got the metal wings?
Angel does not have metal wings. Angel runs like a nightclub with feathery wings. Holocaust is one of them. He's one of the horsemen.
They should
changed
probably
the
change it.
name.
God damn it.
Yeah, they probably changed the name. Yeah. Dark Beast, I think.
That's
And
the one where
Sinister?
he's pretty much feral.
Not feral. He's mad scientist. Basically,
Is that his second mutation where he's a cat?
yeah. That's Onslaught. Is when he gets the second mutation where he
Oh,
gets
I
more
gotcha.
cat look
I gotcha.
or astonishing. But in this one, he's still kind of beast, but he gets taken under Mr. Sinister's wing, and Mr. Sinister like teaches him how to do science. So McCoy is kind of like, well, fuck it, I'm an evil scientist now. And they even kind of like respect that in the comic books, because when Hank gets his inhibitions removed or like free reign on to do things, like even in 616, Beast does some really fucked up science shit.
Gotcha.
So- And they just show how like when nature changes, these characters can change too.
To adapt to their environment.
Right. Like Nightcrawler does one of the most badass things, and he teleports Deadpool's head off.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Nightcrawler is the best.
Yeah, like he's fighting Deadpool, and he grabs Deadpool's head and just teleports with just the head.
Was it X-Men 97 where that person was drowning and he started teleporting puddles of water out?
No, that was I think Wolverine and X-Men.
Yes.
Yep.
Fuck,
Yeah.
Nightcrawler's awesome.
Yeah, they just do a bunch of really cool things. Like Juggernaut becomes a monk and is like the leader of Avalon, or like leads or guides people to Avalon, which is all run by I think Destiny and Mystique.
Wait, he's a monk? Oh, I was thinking of like a preacher. I was saying
No.
the closing of his gospel would be. Never mind, I lost it.
Man, you butchered that.
I
shit.
had it, but I lost it.
Yeah, it's just fantastic.
No, that's a terrible movie line. Let's not do that one.
Fantastic?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah, no.
What's wrong with fantastic?
Skip
Fuck
over.
you.
We're talking about X-Men, not Fantastic Four.
Fuck you, it's fantastic. It's such a good storyline.
Wait a minute.
The return
Say
to
that again.
Fantastic.
I got our name, guys.
We're the Fantastic. Cut to black.
All right. After that is Sandman: Season of Mists.
Is that the first volume?
No, that's volume 4, I think.
Is that got Hob in it?
Hob.
The immortal, where Morpheus makes Death leave him alone, because they place a bet. They meet every 100 years.
That might be a side story in that one. I don't remember. I think it is.
That's got to be my favorite story, because like he's like, we're friends. He's like, I am Dream of the Endless. I am not your fucking friend.
Yeah. There is not a single bad Sandman book. They're all brilliant. This one's my favorite, though. This is the one where Lucifer decides to retire. And he closes the gate to hell and hands Dream the key. And now Dream has to decide what he's going to do with the key. So Dream hosts all of these people who are interested in the key to hell in his castle. So like Buddhist monks show up, angels show up, demons show up, creatures of chaos show up, Thor, Loki, and Odin show up. The Shiva and I think Gehenna show up from Hindu mythology, and like everyone in mythology shows up. And Dream has to decide what he's going to do with the key. And like the side stories are like, there's like this. I think the Hob storyline is part of this one because Death has a strong second character in that one because because the gates to hell are shut, so she can't take anyone to hell. So anyone who dies and can't go to hell, they just stay zombified. So there's a boarding school in England where a kid commits suicide and is still around.
This thing.
Yeah, it's like this the origin of the Dead Boy Detectives is from the storyline, and Death does this. She's so busy that she swaps out her casual gear and she's in jogging gear, and she's jogging from death to death, and she's like, "Are you gonna go?" No, because she's trying to take the ones who at least died to heaven or wherever their final resting place is. And she's like, "You're gonna go?" "No, I don't have time to fucking argue with you. I'll be back for you." And she just runs off. It's fantastic. I love it so much, and they are adapting that for the season 2 of Sandman. So I cannot wait to see it in screen.
What do you think of him with long hair in this season?
I mean, it's comic accurate, so I'm excited
his
to
hair
see
in
it.
season 1.
It was good in season 1.
It's very much the random spikes everywhere.
Yeah, the actor they have for Sandman is perfect. He's you could not cast a better Sandman.
After that, I have the first Marvel Civil War,
which was absolutely groundbreaking. It was decent in movie. It is 3 times as good in book form.
A lot of stuff came from it. Emancipation Proclamation.
Yeah.
What is the
What else?
Emancipation Proclamation, Adam?
What else came from the Civil War, Adam?
A lot of good things.
Like?
We now know that we put on theaters on the upper balcony, we put locks on the doors so people can't sneak in. Yeah. Too much. We're already going long enough.
I am not gonna lie. It took me a second to figure out the theater thing.
So Avengers Initiative, I think, is one of the ones that came off an offshoot because of Civil War.
So Avengers Initiative came out, and it's one of those things that I think it really split not only the heroes, which was interesting to see how they thought and decided, but it split fan bases. Like you'd have people who were like, I'm pro Cap, and other people who are like, I'm pro Iron Man, and like you almost start like a comic civil war outside of from the readers too, because you sided with your heroes.
Who were you?
So up until the point where they have the war crimes that Pro Reg is doing, I was Pro Reg. As soon as the Pro Reg side started doing legit like human rights errors and war crimes, I'm like, no, I'm out on that. But up until that point, Iron Man's got a real good fucking point.
Isn't that where the Captain America quote came from? Where it's like, the Tree of Liberty quote, where he's like, they use it in Civil War. Peggy Carter says it, where he's like, it doesn't matter what the politicians and the mob bosses say. Something like, you plant yourself by the river of truth, and when they say move, you say no, you move.
Yeah, I think that does come from that storyline. It's just like, because there, up until the war crimes, there isn't a right or a wrong side. You know, up until the point where the Pro Reg are violating due process, it's just different perspectives. And how much liberty are you willing to sacrifice to
Make the world safer.
Yeah, for safety. Like that, and that's the argument of that one, is liberty versus safety. And there is no wrong decision there, whether you prefer safety at the cost of your liberty or liberty at the cost of your safety, because the two are polar opposites of each other. And the detail that they go into, and the moral argument, that makes that book way, way interesting. And then you have like the big epic fight scenes too, like the chemical facility fight scene will always stick in my head, because that one was epic, where everyone was like Cloak teleports the entire anti-reg team because they think it's like some sort of disaster and they have to get the workers out, and then they find out that it's a Stark Industries factory that they've specifically blown up, and Iron Man just pulls them out so they can talk to them on neutral ground, and Cap starts that fight. Cap hits Iron Man with an EMP when he shakes hands, and Cap is the initiator there and causes that hole to break down into a massive conflict that ends up with like Goliath dying and stuff. Just so good. And like the fact that it was like the real first Marvel event that I felt like permeated out to everybody. Like they have like these big overarching storylines, but sometimes they're real loosely connected. And this one felt like it touched everybody in a legitimate way. So, and then my number one should come to no surprise to anybody but Watchmen.
Hey, you ever heard of that? Comic book Watchmen?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, just gritty and real and down to earth, and again with the moral arguments about like, if you did have these superheroes wandering around, where do you draw the line? Like, do you draw the line of putting them into Vietnam?
You could say, who watches the Watchmen?
Right. You know,
That's from the book.
you know,
Yeah,
the
isn't
police.
it also from the movie?
I've never seen it. I didn't know there was a movie.
The police going on strike, and like, okay, if you're not going to sponsor your police, if you're going to allow the superheroes to do their thing, then the police are just going to stop it and let the superheroes handle everything. And then you have like the morally gray, like you have, and not even morally gray, like legit, probably a villain who takes up the mantle of hero and gets respected and honored by the military and the government, and like there's so much to it that where you get that kind of gritty realness of like, if superheroes were real, this is the shit that would happen, kind of like you get from The Boys.
Oh yeah.
And not as bad as The Boys.
No, not as bad, but still that kind of concept. Like, if superheroes were real, this is some of the shit that would go down.
Oh yeah, they'd be sponsored by corporations and everything like that.
Yeah.
My favorite of The Watchmen was I went to see it in the theater by myself, and I'm sitting there, and then like the theater's empty in like 10 minutes because I get there early because I'm a loser. And like 10 minutes before, two dads walk in with their kids, and I'm thinking, I haven't seen this movie yet, but from everything's and I've read the comic book. This is pretty comic book accurate. I don't think these are young kids.
It was one of the first. It was like one of those first hero movies. Like, hey, this isn't a superhero movie.
Yeah, so I'm
it
like,
was the first rated R superhero movie.
and
I think.
they sit in front of me. I'm like, oh, I don't know if these kids should be in here.
Like I felt the same way with Deadpool.
And then the scene where the comedian tries to rape the Silk Spectre over the pool table, and I take my eyes off the screen, like look at the dads and the kids. I'm like, really no response. I'm like, okay, so I'm curious. I'm like, I wonder if Al and Spectre are gonna fucking in the thing, and then it happens, and I'm like, I want to make sure I see the boobs, so I'm like looking up and looking at the dad and the kids, and trying to see a reaction.
You think the dad's like, they're gonna be too young to remember?
No, the dad, one of them anyway, kind of like went like this, like,
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, I got to make sure I see the boobs. Okay, look at the dad and the kids.
Notice how the entire time Dr. Manhattan dong is on there. You're probably just like, no,
Oh,
I don't care. I don't care what they're looking at now.
Yeah. So I had a similar experience. My family and my dad went out to see it for his birthday because it came out real close to his birthday, and we were sat down, and a few rows ahead of us was a family that walked in with like a 12-year-old and an 8-year-old and like a 6-year-old, and they sat down to watch it. I'm like, these people do not know what they're going to watch.
What the fuck it is we're watching.
And about the first time, I think it was the first time that Dr. Manhattan walked out and there was that giant swinging dick, they got up and they left, and I laughed my ass off so hard at it.
Because that movie wasn't sold as a family. I remember the trailers quite vividly with that Smashing Pumpkins song, the end is the beginning is the end, or whatever. I'm like, this movie was not sold as a kid-friendly movie. I mean, I know
that was right around when the Batman revivals started happening, right?
But yeah, I mean, the superhero boom was really happening.
Yeah.
Or it was really getting started. So, like I said, I think it was the first rated R superhero movie, and everyone just heard superhero, so it must be for kids.
Yeah.
And just went to it, you know. And I agree with you. The same thing happened when the Deadpool movie came out. A lot of people just saw, oh, it's a Marvel superhero. Okay, let's go. Yeah. And didn't bother researching. And the funniest thing was, like, I remember seeing an interview after Deadpool, and this lady came out mad as hell. And she's like, they should warn us that these are the kind of movies that are going to come out. And the interviewer's like, you mean, like, maybe we should put letter codes on them so you know whether you should only see them if, say, you're 13 or restricted so kids can't go through. And like, just shut the lady down entirely. It was so funny.
Like, one of my favorite things from Watchmen has to be, if you want world peace, you have to give the world a reason for it.
Yeah.
The idea of this is the biggest threat, so we can't be fighting amongst ourselves. We all have to focus on this thing.
Yeah, and a risk of being that comic book guy, the ending in the book is way better than the ending in the movie.
No, I agree.
So
I do like in both versions. I mean, they change it in the movie, but I do like how he's like, do you think that I'm dumb enough to tell you my plan if you could stop me? He's like, my plan's already, like, I started this 35 minutes ago, or whatever he says, but he's like, you can't stop me even if you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm not some comic book villain.
Yeah.
That speech is great from Ozymandias.
I like the idea of the comedian because he's a piece of shit human being, for one thing, but like, we technically need people. I mean, not take away the rapey part, but like, we don't need those people. But you know, we need because
you need an asshole to take care of an
to
asshole.
have peace. We need to prepare for war, and these are the people that will do it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
he has some of the best lines where Night Owl's like, "What happened to the American dream?" He's like, "You're fucking looking at it, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is what it takes." And he just starts like,
I mean, he's not anyone to look up to, but it's not someone I would want to be. But these are the people we need. These type of people, minus the rape,
right? And at the risk of interjecting some politics, when the people started using the Punisher skull to represent, like, the defense of the police a few years back, I always kind of disagreed with that because Punisher always, like, stood against corrupt cops.
Yeah.
I thought they should have used the happy face comedian
button if they were going to appropriate any sort of superhero.
Yeah.
Like that logo fits way better than the Punisher skull.
God, that got so bad that they addressed it in the comic books. So,
Yeah.
like where Frank.
Oh yeah,
Frank,
that was everywhere.
Frank did something, and the cops were like, "You're our hero." And he's like, "I'm not your fucking hero. You're not me or whatever."
Yeah.
And I just paid for an Airbnb apparently.
Oh.
Where are we going?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's $0. My wife must be buying something.
Must be reserving, maybe.
Yeah.
Where are we going?
All right, so we got our list of 20. We need to narrow it down to 5. So our top 20 here, we've got The Creep, Batman Black Mirror, Hellblazer Good Intentions, Sin City, Jinx and AKA Goldfish, Ultimate Spider-Man, Deadpool, Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto, One Piece, Superman Red Sun, Blackest Night, Emerald Twilight, Ghosted, Kingdom Come, Megatron Origin, Age of Apocalypse, Sandman Season of Mist, Marvel Civil War, and The Watchmen.
The Watchmen's on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we include Watchmen.
I think we all can agree on Watchmen.
The amount of discussion that we had after Adam mentioned Sin City, I think we have to include Sin City too.
Yes, that comics not based on a superhero sort of atmosphere, I think, and being that popular is a reason to be on the list.
I also think it'll be an absolute crime if we don't include Kingdom Come.
Yes, Kingdom Come like revolutionized a generation. Kingdom Come was the epitome of this is a comic book story.
Yep. 2 more we need to select here.
Just read them again. Not from bottom of mine. Ultimate Spider-Man. And all.
Ultimate Spider-Man, Deadpool, Full Metal Alchemist, Naruto, One Piece, Superman Red Sun, Blackest Night, Emerald Twilight, Ghosted, Megatron Origins, Age of Apocalypse, Sandman Season of Mist, and Civil War.
I think Civil War.
You think Civil War? I'm down for that. I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah.
You should have put it on your list.
I did.
Oh.
Okay. So what do you guys think? So you agree with Civil War?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really read a whole lot of Marvel comics, but I know what happened in Civil War. Balconies became locked after it.
Well, I really do not like the character at all. I think it annoying, but as much as my personal opinion, he is like a juggernaut in Deadpool. Because of the comics, we have the movies, which as much as I don't like him, he is through that. We are, Hugh Jackman's now been revived back as Wolverine. Gambit, Channing Tatum may be getting his Gambit movie now.
Using as a launching off point to get some of these more obscure guys on the Gambit side thrust more into media.
Yeah, like I would agree with that. I was also leaning towards One Piece because One Piece has been around for 15 years,
20 plus,
and it's like 2,000 issues and like super
over
influential.
1,000 individual chapters.
Yeah, it's super influential.
Never heard of it.
It is now in the world highest selling comic of all times.
But is it higher selling than the known universe?
In the known universe, yes, because no other alien has come forth saying, "Hey, we sold more than that, you fucking humans."
All right, One Piece is fine.
It is one of those things. It has leaped from one country to the world, and it's been one of those things where in America it seems commonplace that our media reaches out and hits the world. It's been one of those few things that has hit the world on the opposite end.
But does it have a robot?
I would say from that
It
list,
does have robots, yes.
I will argue forever. Watchmen has to be number one.
I agree with that.
I mean, I know it's not. I know it's a very cliched answer, but just like Citizen Kane being the greatest movie, there's a reason for it. So I would say Watchmen's.
Well,
If we do Watchmen number 1, then Kingdom Come has to be 2.
I agree with that.
Well, those are both Alan Moore, right?
No.
Am I thinking of something else?
Yeah, Kingdom Come's on Alan Moore.
I don't know who wrote it. Alex Ross drew it.
Yeah.
Killing Joke was Alan Moore.
That's what I was thinking of.
Okay.
Apologies to whoever wrote Kingdom Come.
Yeah. Okay, so Sin City, Civil War, One Piece. What do we think is number 3?
I'm going to say Civil War. Civil War changed Marvel forever.
Fuck you. No, I was going to say Civil War. Because like I said, I know that
Mark Waid.
Mark Waid. Oh, okay.
Oh, Mark Waid. Good
I know that I haven't read Civil War, but I know that because of it, a lot of different things that happen, and it is radiated out. And I mean, it's even affected, live action.
Emancipation Proclamation.
All right.
I like how you just name the same things over and over again.
Right. So Sin City for 4,
Yeah.
One Piece 5.
I'm
Yes.
fine with that. One Piece
Yes.
is one of this list is one of the things that it is itself has been its own contained universe for now. It has not, and that's one of the reasons why I think on the list. Where the rest of these people have their fingers in the pot. One Piece has been one of the few things, like a lot of Japanese media manga, where it has been solely basically the one dude hammering away at this for the last 30 years.
I think it's fingers in the pie, not fingers in the pot. Why would you put a finger in a pot?
To test how hot the soup is.
That doesn't really work with your analogy. All right. Okay, so we've got our top 5 list. Do we have any honorable mentions? Because I had a bitch of a time narrowing mine down to 5. Holy shit, did I have so many on my list.
My honorable mention is, of course, another Green Lantern story. It's The Last Will and Testament of Hal Jordan. It's during this time, Hal Jordan is the Spectre, and it's kind of the fallout from him being Parallax, and he has that sidekick, which was in the blockbuster 2011 Green Lantern movie, played by Taika Waititi. So basically, it follows around. It's kind of like what defines a hero and what makes a hero. The main character Tom, like his life just sucks because he feels like he's been abandoned by his best friend Hal Jordan, and this kid shows up that's Hal Jordan's son Marty that looks like him, like even has like the gray at the temples, and you find out, spoilers, that he is actually a construct from it's Hal Jordan's ring brought to life, basically.
Oh, cool.
And he's like he's talking about, he's like, I did terrible things, like, but I had to, like, I was told, make these constructs do these things, and he goes to these Green Lanterns that, like one of them, like Hal Jordan, like ripped off her arm to steal her ring, and he's like trying to like come up with penance, and like you find out like they use like these mystical forces throughout the universe, and they create like this demon Kilowog to like hunt him down and kill him, and it's like all these different things, and like one of them is how Green Lantern would defeat the Justice League, and like it's got one of my favorite lines where it's like he's like, who do you take out first, Superman? And he's like, no, you take out Batman. He's like, Batman's the most dangerous person in the Justice League, because like in all the Green Lantern comics, like Green Lantern and Batman do not get along. And like it's just like him, he's like, I strap a rocket to his back and I send him as far away as possible, because if he's gone, then I have time to think. And then the end of the comic is Tom using the Green Lantern, and he pulls Oa back together and like reforms it. So while the Green Lantern Corps is gone, he's like, these are our first steps into rebuilding everything. My only other honorable mention is Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Oh yeah, that was great.
Whereas you took me to a comic book store. I can't remember the name of it. It was on Broadway between 18th and 24th Street. This was a long, long time
Midwest?
ago. Yeah, it might have been the Midwest.
Oh yeah, that was Jim Brown's.
And I remember I bought it because there was no way. I think I was maybe like 10 or 11. Like no way I could ever comprehend this comic book at this age. But it's probably one of my favorites, and I've read multiple times, and I still barely comprehend all of it. But like it's got some of my favorite panels where it's like the Flash running back in time so far that like he turns to dust and everything like that. Like it's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, I just reread that, I don't know, 6 to 8 months ago or so, and finally understood it. Yeah. Honorable mentions for me: Killing Joke. Absolutely brilliant book. especially showing like Joker's origin. Marvel 1602, which is like alternate reality where they're back in the year 1602 and the Marvel universe exists. Brilliant idea and really well designed, well thought out. Magneto is like part of the Inquisition, and the mutants are witch bloods, and Walking Dead. The Walking Dead books were so good, so much better than the show is. Lock and Key.
Oh yeah, Lock and Key is good.
Fantastic. Long Halloween, Nightfall.
I'm surprised you didn't put the Long Halloween on yours.
I didn't want to put to me obvious
because you've talked about that probably more than any time.
I love Long Halloween.
Yeah, I had a real hard time narrowing this down.
I think I probably read that one more than any other comic.
Yeah. Okay.
I would add. I'm going to add another one. Superman Earth 1, the Earth 1 series, where it's more realistic take.
Is that the one where he tries to be like a football player and realizes, oh, I'm too strong to be a football player, and he tries to be a scientist? And he's like, oh, I'm too smart to be a scientist.
It's very much he's like extremely arrogant. Yeah. Like he is like he goes to Metropolis to like this think tank type thing, and they're like, well, you have to solve this problem, and he's just like solves it like there's not like he's a very arrogant Superman, I guess. And it's after like this big invasion, then he's like, okay, I can't be this person, like, and then he slowly starts to transform into the Superman that like they're like we'll pay you like all of this money, and he's just like, no, I can't do it. And I like that because to me it is very realistic. It's if you had all these powers and abilities, no matter how well and the kindness of your family and the values that you're raised, it would be very hard not to be like, I'm a genius. Like I am, like I can do anything on this planet.
They know what it's like to be me.
For fuck's sake. All right.
Sorry, I have one.
God, what's
one
bigger
that I
than
really
the known
enjoyed
universe?
was the Avengers Initiative.
Oh, you've talked about Avengers Initiative.
Like, I really enjoyed it because it was aftermath of Civil War of, okay, how to, like, because I think technically pro-registration won. Mm-hmm. And so the systems they put in place are kind of showing the flaws behind it. The idea was the Avengers Initiative was to have an Avengers team in every single state. And so it was people getting there to use your powers, you had to get a license. And whatnot, so you go through.
It would suck to be like the Avengers team in like Nebraska
or Kansas,
right?
Hey, did you know?
So you have these stories of basically these superpower beings going through boot camps and being assigned these teams, and then I keep going back to this one character named Butterball, whose power is complete invulnerability. Like nothing can hurt him, absolutely fucking nothing. But he is a husky human being, but because of his mutation, doesn't matter how hard he works or anything, he is the average strength of a normal person. Well, he is just an average Joe, and no amount of exercise, nothing could ever get him into being like superhero shape. He's just completely invulnerable. And he's going through all this thing where we're like, hey, because Taskmaster is one of the guys they have trained because he still steals techniques, but can also train everybody. And he's like, yeah, like I don't know what to do with this guy. He's completely invulnerable. He has such a good power, but literally he does a mile in like 30 minutes, and all this other stuff like
that's pretty fast.
And so basically, he ends up saving the day. Helping out save the day, but he's not fit to be a hero, and then it's him crying at the end like, at least I got to live my dream for a week and a half, and all this stuff. Like, you just feel super bad about it.
But I think you just train that guy to be bomb disposal, because like if he fucks up the bomb disposal, then all right, well, the bomb went off and dude survived. He can try again.
Yeah, and maybe there's some other stuff that happened to him. I don't remember anything happened to him after that point. Yeah. But you have all these other characters that they made for the initiative. You have this girl called Komodo who perfects Dr. Connor's lizard formula, and she took it because she lost her legs, and it was the only way she'd be able to have legs and whatnot. And you have an emotional scene with her and a guy character named Hardball, like, it's all right, like, because they're really into each other, but you're like, babe, I don't like it when you scratch me when you have your claws. And so he gets vulnerable enough for her to go back to her human form and be like, it's all right, I love you anyway, and all this stuff. You are a complete person with me, and all this other stuff.
Don't have to worry about legs getting in the way.
Mm-hmm.
You have this one character, Cloud9, who's able to make a cloud-like formula that she can fly on and whatnot, and how she's kind of, through several things, she has these insecurities because she's not as pretty as some of these bombshell fucking superheroes that are around her. That coming to terms with that, but then
Now you know what Adam feels like.
I know, walking
Being
in
a
a room with
bombshell.
these studs.
Yeah.
yeah, but also coming to terms, learning, and basically he ends up becoming a cloud sniper. We're learning from Black Widow to become a sniper from the clouds.
That's cool.
Then you have this other character whose power is he turns into your greatest fear. And like they're like, oh, this guy can be super powerful, but they end up basically training to become the ultimate therapist to help you people
Jesus.
unresolved stuff. Like Cloud9 accidentally like kills like a Hydra agent, and so he transforms the Hydra agent to kill. So she's like, I'm sorry, I had to kill you, but you was going to blow up the White House and stuff like that. And
Why would you be sorry?
And the higher ups like, I gave you a fucking Omega level mutant, and you turned him into a fucking therapist and stuff like this.
That's awesome.
Just all these sort of like the more human side of heroes and how they interact and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm gonna need to find a copy of that. That sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, so our official.
I got one honorable mention. Synstodian Volume 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Volume 1 through 5.
Yeah.
Now in
Six-
development.
6 was shit.
Yeah, 6 wasn't very good.
Yeah,
Got back in
stop
7.
reading at 5. Yeah.
Oh.
Now
All
in
right.
development.
All right, our finalized rank me off list top 5 comic books according to Damage Control Podcasting. Number 1, The Watchmen. Number 2, Kingdom Come. 3, The Marvel Civil War. 4, Sin City, and 5, One Piece. So if you disagree, make sure you comment below. Also, remember your $20 disagreement fee that you can Venmo us. And you've been listening to Rank Me Off, a Damage Control podcasting production. Check out new episodes every Monday on YouTube, SoundCloud, and Apple Podcasts. And make sure you check our social medias on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you so much for listening, and please like, comment, and subscribe. Adam, push the button.